Long before fertilizer bags had labels, before garden centers lined every highway, people grew food in tired, exhausted soil. And somehow it worked. They didn't chase quick fixes. They watched, waited, and listened to the soil. Their secret was simple, often overlooked, and surprisingly powerful. Today, worn-out soil can come alive again if we remember this old practice. Stick around, because what you're about to see may change the way you grow forever. When soil still had a seasonal rhythm. In the 1800s, soil had a rhythm. It breathed, it rested, it recovered. Farmers didn't think in spreadsheets or chemical formulas. They thought in seasons, in patterns, in quiet observation. Soil wasn't fed every week with bags of fertilizer. It was covered, protected, and given time to rebuild itself naturally. Bare soil, they noticed, weakened. Exposed to sun, wind, and rain, it lost strength, washed away, and became tired. Covered soil, under straw, leaves, or green manures, recovered. Slowly, steadily, reliably. The difference wasn't dramatic overnight, but over weeks and months. The results became undeniable. Healthy soil grew healthier plants, resisted pests better, and retained water longer. They didn't call it science. They called it good sense. They watched the soil like a living partner, noticing subtle changes, a darker color, a sweeter smell, a crumbly texture. These were the signs of life returning, of fertility rebuilding itself from within. What's striking is how little has changed since then. Modern gardeners often chase immediate results, quick fertilizers, fast composts, instant feeds. We forget the quiet power of patience. The soil needs its seasons, too. Cover it, feed it gently, let it breathe, and you'll see that even soil that feels dead can come back to life. The practical lesson for your garden today: don't rush it. If your soil is tired, cover it with organic matter, leaves, straw, grass clippings, or even a temporary cover crop. Give it time. Observe it. Notice how water holds longer, how earthworms return, how the texture slowly changes. These are small, quiet victories, but they are real. In essence, soil has memory. It remembers how to be fertile if we allow it the rhythm it needs. The farmers of the 1800s understood that. And if we tune in, we can learn it too. This is more than gardening. It's an invitation to slow down, to listen, and to partner with the living earth beneath our feet. The method: leaf mold and natural covering. The gardeners of the past didn't rely on flashy shortcuts. They relied on patience, observation, and the quiet power of nature itself. And one of their simplest, most overlooked tools was right beneath their feet: fallen leaves. The method was simple. They collected these leaves from the yard, orchard, or forest edge and piled them in corners, under trees, or along fence lines. Sometimes the piles were neat, sometimes just loosely gathered. Nature didn't require perfection. Then they stepped back. Rain fell, sun shone. Time passed. Microbes and earthworms began their slow work. Months went by, sometimes a full year. When the leaves finally broke down, they became something remarkable: dark, crumbly, fragrant leaf mold. This was not compost, not manure. Something gentler, slower, and incredibly effective. It didn't force plants to grow overnight. It didn't burn or shock the soil with strong nutrients. Instead, it restored structure, retained moisture, and nurtured life beneath the surface. Why does exhausted soil often wake up when leaf mold is added? Because it's feeding the soil, not just the plant. Healthy soil is alive. It's teeming with bacteria, fungi, and tiny organisms that create a living, breathing ecosystem. Leaf mold feeds them gently, giving them the resources to rebuild the soil's natural balance. As the soil structure improves, it holds water better, resists erosion, and provides a stable home for roots to explore. Even more remarkable is how this method is completely senior-safe and low-maintenance. You don't need chemicals, heavy lifting, or complex machinery. Just leaves, patience, and a quiet corner of your yard. You can even involve grandchildren, gathering leaves, piling them up, checking on progress, and pass down knowledge while building connections. This old practice also teaches a subtle but powerful lesson. Growth doesn't need force. Soil doesn't need urgency. Just as our own bodies recover with rest, the earth beneath our feet thrives when given time, protection, and gentle nourishment. Leaf mold is a reminder that sometimes the most profound changes come from letting nature do what it does best, quietly, steadily, and with perfect timing. Practical steps to try today: start small. Gather a few wheelbarrows of leaves and pile them in a corner. Keep the pile loosely covered if your area is windy. Check it monthly. Watch it darken and crumble over time. When it's ready, mix it gently into garden beds or sprinkle it around trees and shrubs. Your soil will thank you, and over months, you'll notice a subtle transformation: richer color, softer texture, improved moisture, and a quiet hum of life returning. Why it works without chemicals. The magic of leaf mold isn't in flashy formulas or strong chemicals. It's in quiet, consistent soil care. Gardeners of the past didn't need bags of fertilizer to see life return to tired soil. They used leaves, time, and patience, and the results were remarkable. Leaf mold works because it feeds the soil itself, not just the plants above it. It improves soil texture, turning heavy, compacted dirt into a soft, crumbly medium that roots can easily explore. It holds water during dry spells, acting like a natural sponge, slowly releasing moisture to thirsty roots. It encourages beneficial microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and tiny soil dwellers that form the backbone of healthy soil. And over time, it reduces compaction, creating a breathable, resilient environment for plants to thrive. Unlike strong fertilizers, leaf mold doesn't burn roots or shock plants. There's no sudden surge of nutrients or harsh chemicals, just steady, gentle improvement. This was especially valuable for older gardeners, who often needed low-effort methods that still delivered results. Instead of bending over repeatedly to apply fertilizers or manage chemical mixes, they could spread leaf mold, cover the soil, and let nature do its work. Over weeks and months, they watched the subtle changes: darker soil, a softer texture, more earthworms, healthier plants. The effect isn't instant, but that's the beauty of it. Leaf mold works slowly, quietly, and reliably. Soil that looks exhausted today can, over a season, regain its vitality. The improvement is cumulative. Each layer of leaf mold adds structure, moisture, and life. Roots grow deeper, soil retains water, and the garden becomes more resilient to drought, pests, and stress. This slow transformation mirrors the rhythms of nature itself, teaching gardeners the value of patience and observation. For those tending gardens later in life, this method is particularly kind. It reduces physical strain, lowers the risk of accidental overfertilizing, and allows for a more meditative, mindful approach to growing. There's a satisfaction in watching soil recover and plants flourish without forcing it, like seeing a quiet revival unfold in slow motion. Practical advice for today's gardeners: start by sprinkling finished or partially decomposed leaves around beds, paths, and under trees. Allow rainfall and microbes to integrate the material naturally. Avoid the temptation to speed it up with chemicals or heavy turning. Observe, note the texture, moisture, and activity in your soil. Over time, you'll notice the cumulative benefits: richer soil, healthier plants, and a garden that feels alive again. In essence, leaf mold reconnects us with a timeless truth. The best gardening isn't always about immediate results. It's about nurturing life, fostering balance, and letting nature quietly restore itself. Why this wisdom was lost. Modern gardening often feels like a race. We want results yesterday. We follow instructions on shiny fertilizer bags, trust instant feeds, and seek quick fixes that promise lush plants by next week. Every seedling, every bed, seems to come with a timeline. Fast results are celebrated, and patience feels almost old-fashioned. But soil doesn't work on our schedules. It has its own rhythm, its own pace, its own quiet life that can't be rushed. Leaf mold, in particular, is a gentle teacher of this truth. It asks something we rarely allow ourselves: the willingness to wait, to watch, to observe subtle changes, to trust that life, even when invisible, is rebuilding itself beneath the surface. This kind of wisdom, simple, slow, and observant, tends to fade in an age of speed. We forget that soil needs cover to regain strength. We forget that healthy soil is a living system, and that life beneath our feet thrives on balance, not force. We forget that the earth remembers care and neglect alike, and that rushing often leads to exhaustion rather than abundance. Yet the knowledge hasn't disappeared entirely. It waits quietly in corners of old gardens, in the practices passed down by grandparents, in farmers' fields where nature was respected rather than rushed. It waits for someone willing to notice, to try, to remember. And when we do, the results are remarkable. Soil that seems tired awakens. Moisture stays longer, roots dig deeper, and life returns, slowly, steadily, reliably. For older gardeners, this return to patience is particularly meaningful. It aligns with a lifetime of observation and experience, a slower rhythm that respects both the gardener and the garden. It reduces strain, increases enjoyment, and reminds us that growth isn't just about speed, it's about consistency, care, and attention to subtle changes that may otherwise go unnoticed. The practical lesson is simple: slow down. Cover your soil. Add organic matter like leaves. Observe the changes over weeks and months. Avoid the urge to fix things with harsh chemicals or constant intervention. Watch how earthworms return, how soil darkens and softens, how plants respond not to force but to a supportive environment. Leaf mold is more than a gardening technique. It's a symbol of patience, resilience, and quiet wisdom. It teaches that lasting results come from honoring natural rhythms, not overriding them. The soil doesn't need us to rush. It needs us to notice, nurture, and trust the process. By remembering this old practice, we restore not just soil, but also a way of gardening that values observation over urgency, steady care over instant gratification, and life, slow, quiet, persistent life over artificial growth. And when we do, we reconnect with the timeless rhythm of the earth, one gentle layer of leaves at a time. You don't need a farm or acres of land to bring tired soil back to life. The leaf mold method is simple, gentle, and safe, perfect for seniors who want results, without heavy lifting or complicated procedures. Even small gardens, raised beds, or flower patches can benefit from this timeless approach. Step 1. Gather fallen leaves. Look around your yard, neighborhood, or nearby parks for leaves that haven't been treated with chemicals. Avoid leaves from treated lawns or ornamental plants that may carry pesticides. Autumn is ideal, but leaves can be collected year-round if available. Step 2. Store them safely. You can use a dedicated bin, a large garden bag, or simply create a small pile in a quiet corner. The goal is to keep them contained, slightly shaded, and accessible. A loosely covered bin prevents excessive drying while still, allowing air circulation. Step 3. Maintain gentle moisture. Leaf mold doesn't need constant watering. Lightly moisten the leaves if they appear dry, especially in hot or windy conditions. Microbes and earthworms need a slightly damp environment to break the leaves down, but overwatering isn't necessary. Step 4. Let nature do the work. Patience is key. Over the next several months, the leaves will gradually decompose into dark, crumbly leaf mold. Unlike traditional compost, this process is slow and gentle. It doesn't produce heat or strong odors, and it doesn't require turning. This makes it ideal for seniors who prefer low-effort gardening. Step 5. Use as a soil amendment or top layer. Once ready, sprinkle leaf mold over raised beds, tired garden soil, flower beds, or vegetable patches. Mix lightly into the top layer of soil or leave it as a protective mulch. Leaf mold isn't a replacement for fertilizers. It feeds the soil, not just the plants, and restores structure, moisture, and life. The benefits are clear: improved soil texture, enhanced water retention, and a thriving ecosystem of beneficial microorganisms. Plants respond naturally, roots explore more easily, and soil becomes resilient without chemical intervention. No heavy lifting is required. No rushing is needed. You can involve grandchildren or neighbors. Gathering leaves becomes a shared activity, a way to pass down knowledge while enjoying fresh air and gentle movement. Over time, even small piles of leaves can transform into a garden's hidden powerhouse, quietly rebuilding life beneath your feet. For raised beds, this method is perfect. Soft, crumbly soil encourages roots to spread without compacting. Flower beds bloom more vibrantly as the soil retains moisture longer. Vegetable patches benefit from consistent, gentle feeding that supports growth without shocking sensitive plants. By adopting this method today, seniors reconnect with a rhythm of gardening that values observation, patience, and care. It's not about rushing or forcing. Results, it's about nurturing life slowly and safely, letting the soil recover naturally. Many older gardeners have seen, or even known, neighbors like this. A man who never bought fertilizer, yet every year his garden flourished. A woman whose soil stayed dark, soft, and alive season after season, without chemicals or fuss. They didn't make a show of their methods. They didn't post instructions or seek recognition. They just smiled quietly when someone asked about their secret. And the secret wasn't really a secret at all. It was patience, observation, a respect for the soil and its natural rhythms. They allowed the land to do its work, intervening only when necessary. When others rushed to buy fertilizers or apply instant solutions, these gardeners worked in harmony with time. They piled leaves, covered beds, waited for rain, and let microbes, worms, and seasons do the rest. Their gardens told the story for them. Soil darkened, crumbled, and held moisture. Plants thrived, roots dug deep, and life returned quietly. There was a gentle satisfaction in seeing soil heal itself, a calm pride in nurturing without force. This kind of old-timer wisdom is more than gardening. It's a reminder of what patience and care can accomplish. In today's world, everything is fast. We expect instant results, quick fixes, and visible growth. But leaf mold and natural soil covering remind us of an important truth. Nothing useful should be wasted, and nothing living should be rushed. Leaves, once discarded, can become life-giving soil amendments. Soil, once exhausted, can recover if treated with gentleness and respect. This method also reflects a deeper value, the healing power of patience. Just as people thrive when given understanding, rest, and care, soil thrives when allowed to rebuild slowly. Leaf mold teaches us that small, consistent actions, collecting a few leaves, letting nature do the work, can lead to lasting, meaningful results. It's a philosophy of gardening that transcends age, showing that careful, deliberate nurturing is often more effective than forcing growth through artificial means. For seniors, this approach is especially resonant. It aligns with life experience, understanding that growth and recovery take time. That effort multiplied by patience often yields the best results. And that quiet observation can be more insightful than constant intervention. Gardens grown this way are healthier, easier to maintain, and deeply rewarding, proving that wisdom and experience are invaluable tools in the garden. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever used leaves in your garden? Did someone teach you this practice long ago? Share your memories in the comments. Your story may spark recognition or encouragement for someone else here. Perhaps you remember an old neighbor, a grandparent, or a community gardener who inspired you.